Hey, Tony Gaskins here. You know what? One of the biggest problems that I'm seeing in my relationship coaching practice is the way that you are dating. And I want you to understand that you are dating the wrong way. And it's becoming so normal to date out of order, without decency, and the wrong way. Now, when you think about this and you think about when you were 5 years old and you would play house, you're mommy, he's daddy, you're daddy, she's mommy, and you're playing house. And what do you know about playing house, playing mommy, daddy at 5 years old? You're doing it because that's what you have seen. So the same thing happens when you fast forward to being an adult and you meet someone, you want to play house. And so what I need you to understand is that the first 6 months of your relationship is the most important in laying the foundation. So you gotta lay the foundation in a way that you have something real that you can build upon. So think about this, and if you are getting ready to leave a relationship and you're gonna be single again, and one day you're gonna go back to dating, or if you're already single and you're looking to date in the future, this is very, very important. And I need you to get this whole message so that you truly understand this, so that you aren't continuously making the most common mistakes. Now, think about this. When you meet someone, you don't know this person at all. When you do a job interview, when you first start a job, you're at your best. You're at your best, and in a lot of ways, you could be faking it. A lot of ways you could be putting on. And that's just human nature. So the same thing happens when you start to date. In the beginning, you're going to get a person's, what I would call, their representative. So you don't really meet them. You meet who they want you to perceive them as. And so it's a little different. So the first thing is, number one is you must be intentional. You must be intentional. So you have to go in with the mindset that says, I am looking for a relationship and I am dating with a purpose. So you are intentional. But number two is you have to build on friendship. So although you are dating with a purpose and although you want a relationship, you have to build on friendship. And here is the difference. I want you to understand the difference. Because a young lady asked me, she said, Tony, should you be friends before you go into a relationship? And I told her, no, you should be in a relationship and build the friendship at the same time. And that's where it gets a little tricky and people get it confused, because you try to say, well, let's just be friends. Well, when you agree to just being friends and there's no relationship talk, you're not in a relationship, you're not being intentional, then you get trapped in the friend box. And then when you get trapped in the friend box, before you know it, you become friends with benefits. But when you are intentional and then you just build a friendship, meaning that you're exclusive, you're in a relationship, you both want the same thing, but you operate the way you would operate with a new friend. And that is where people go wrong. Because what happens is you start playing house because you say, oh, we both want a relationship, so let's do relationship things. And the foundation of a healthy relationship is friendship. So you have to do friendship things. But instead, you start doing relationship things. And when you're doing relationship things, what this means is you already swallowing tongue. You already singing on the microphone. He already eating peach cobbler. You already spending the night at each other place. You already rubbing and caressing and hot dogging, and a lot of people going all the way to intercourse within the first 6 months. So you're saying because we want the same thing, because we both want a relationship, let's do relationship things. And now you put the cart before the horse. But when you backtrack and you say, okay, we want the same thing, we are intentional, but let's build a friendship in this relationship. So how this looks is you are talking on the phone, whether that is a FaceTime or it's by phone. When you're not on the phone, you can text, keep in touch. You're texting while you're not on the phone. Doesn't mean you're talking every hour of the day, but you keep in contact. And then you're going on a date every week. And if your schedule can afford 2 dates, then you do 2 dates. If your schedule can afford 3 dates, you do 3 dates. These dates are in the beginning, especially this first month, first 2 months, you are going on dates where you can talk. And you're doing things that's not costing money. So you can go downtown and just walk around the pier or walk around downtown, grab a little slice of pizza out the window, however your situation is set up. You can go to the lake. If you're in a place with the lake that they have turned it into a tourist stop where it has the sidewalk going all the way around the lake, you can go walk the lake and you're talking. These dates you want to shoot for a 2-hour date. And the reason why you want to shoot for 2 hours because you don't want it to be too short, that it kind of leaves you hot and horny, and you don't want it to be too long to where you over exaggerate the love to where you're falling too deep too fast. You want to shoot for about a 2-hour window, and you want to be having conversation. You want to have real conversation where you're talking and you're building. Now later you can start doing movies and plays and things like that, month 3, month 4. But in the beginning, you want to do dinner at a place that's not playing live music, and you can talk, or you want to be walking. Sometimes dates get expensive when you're trying to do too much, and that's what, because a man, being a real man, he wants to pay. That's what makes a man shy away from dating, because y'all aren't being creative and you're just doing the typical. And it's costing so much money. He's like, man, it's too expensive to be dating. I'm trying to, build my net worth. I'm trying to build my savings. I'm trying to get my life, all the way situated for marriage. And so you got to think about that. Do some things that don't cost or that is very inexpensive. And as a woman, here's another thing that's going wrong. And a lot of y'all are going to get mad about this. But as a woman, when you are dating, especially in this first 6 months, you should, and that's kind of what I'm focusing on, the first 6 months, you should not expect a man to pay for you. And here's why. Because when you go and you just expect him to pay for you, then you are being bought. Because what a man pays for, he owns. So what you have to realize, if he does not know you, you're just building with him. In his mind, what he pays for, he owns. So in his mind, it's like, okay, I'm buying some time. I'm buying a woman. I'm just like I bought a car. Oh, she want everything to be paid for? You're not a piece of property. But that's how a stranger sees it. Do strangers give other strangers money? No. You don't just go up to a stranger and pay for their dinner. If you paying for something, you expecting something. And so that is the average mentality. I'm not saying that it's right. But I'm saying is you have to be careful with just selling yourself for a plate of food. And what you have to realize is that you are an independent. You are an independent. So when you look at the maturity continuum, you go from dependent to independent to interdependent. So the proper way to send the proper message, what a woman should do, is when you go on a date, is offer to pay half, offer to go Dutch. And then if the man says, no, thank you, I got it, then you politely put your card back up. Now, here's where the mistake that happens. A lot of women get this independent thing on their sleeve, on their forehead, and they say, Oh, I'm gonna pay my way. I'm gonna pay my way. And the man like, no, 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 I got it. And she's like, no, no, I'm paying my way. I'm paying my way. I got it. Trust me, please, trust me. And then when the waiter comes, they're like, listen, give me that. Give me that. Here's my card. Put my card in. And just go overboard and just keep pressing the issue. Keep pressing the issue, trying to prove a point. That's where you're doing too much. So it's okay for a man to pay, but do not expect it. Don't just see the bill and just sit there like you all that, like you the princess of the world. No, you are independent. And you need the man to know that you're independent, that you're not for sale. And so this where, and I'm gonna tell you, a lot of women argue with this, but that's because you broke minded. That's because you broke minded and you scarcity minded and you don't know your worth and you don't know what you bring to the table. So stop going to the table like a prostitute and go to the table like a boss. And that's why relationships being turned upside down, because you going to the table in a weak position. The person with no money is in a weak position. The borrower becomes servant to the lender. So you have to understand that these men that's out here today, they don't have the mindset of just chivalry. They don't have the mindset, because the world is no longer that. Because of the feminist movement, because of all of these different women empowerment movements, women used to be silenced. And so even then it wasn't chivalry, it was male chauvinist. And so a man expected to pay because a woman was seen as weak and feeble. But now women are strong. The strength of a woman is being shown, it's being celebrated, it's being praised. So you have to stay in line with that and let that man know, yes, I do make my own money. I can pay for myself. I want a man, but I don't need a man. This is what you got to understand, because it's not just about how you feel about it. It's about perception. So a man, a real man, when he sees that you offer to pay your half, he takes a note. And although he's going to pay it, and the only way he'll let you is if he doesn't truly fully understand women, and he feels that if he doesn't let you, it's going to be very offensive to you and it's going to turn you off. That's one reason. The other reason he'll let you pay is because truthfully his finances, his budget just doesn't have it in the budget to be dating on this level, spending this kind of money every week or twice a week or 3 times a week. And so he'll let you pay just literally for financial reasons. It does not mean he's a terrible guy. Now, the terrible guy in this, he will ask you to pay. That's the terrible guy. Oh, you got this? You got this tonight? I know you're a boss. I know you got it. You got this tonight, and then let you pay. That's the terrible guy. That's the guy you need to run from, okay? Not the guy who lets you pay half. There's nothing wrong with that. And I get so many messages from women saying, we went on a date, and at the date, he gonna sit there and say, can we go Dutch? Oh, that's the last time I'm talking to him. I cut him off. I blocked his number. And I'm like, come on now. He just going with the vibe, with the trend of it's women empowerment. You got a good job. You making good money. Women getting more degrees than men. Women climbing the corporate ladder. The number one group of successful entrepreneurs, new successful entrepreneurs, is African American women, black women. So he trying to respect you. So it don't necessarily mean that he's a no good, sorry man. Please understand that. Now me, I was a player and I always paid for the dates. So that's what I want you to understand, is that just because a man paying for your date does not mean he's a good guy and that he got his head on straight. That's what players do. Y'all don't know. That's what pimps do. That's what players do. That's what the biggest womanizers do. Not pay for the whole date, pay for everything, take your doggy plate home, paying for your Uber there, paying for your Uber home, Here goes some cash for the tip. That's what players do. So actually, you have more of an honest man who will allow you to go half. That's actually more of an honest man than the man who will pay for everything. Because the man who will pay for everything, you don't know what you're getting right there. You don't know if you just got a man that was raised to be chivalrous or if you got a player. Because it's gonna take some time to tell. So understand this. You are talking daily and you going on dates. There's nothing sexual here. So you intentional and then you building a friendship because it's the firm foundation. It's the strongest foundation to build a relationship on. And in this friendship, that's where you're getting to know one another. That's where you're learning about your faith. Do you see eye to eye? Your politics? Do you see eye to eye? Your desires for your life, your future, where do kids come in, how you want to raise kids, how you handle money. You learning these things through conversation. It's not an interrogation. It's not an interview. You just conversing. And because you're conversing so much, so regular, so often, you're going to hear how a person thinks. And so in this stage, understand, you have to clearly separate dating from marriage. So what happens is men start doing what a husband should do, and women start doing what a wife should do. When you're dating, in this first 6 months especially, a man should not be expected to pay a woman's bills. He shouldn't be expected to help with rent, help with car note, help with phone bill, help with your kids. No, that's your responsibility. All that is your responsibility as a woman. And a woman should not be expected to cook for a man, clean up his place, do his laundry, sleep with him, all that there. Pick up his kids, pick up his dry cleaning, run his errands, do his grocery shopping. A woman should not be expected to do any of those things for a man, especially in this first 6 months. And to be honest with you, you shouldn't be doing any of this stuff until you are engaged for marriage. So you are strictly in a relationship built on friendship. And number 3, no sleeping together. No sleeping together. This is the problem. Is there is a vetting period when you are dating someone. If you go right in and in the 3rd month, in the 1st month, 2nd month, 3rd month, 4th month, you sleeping with this person, you do not know this person. So you don't know if they have an STD, or stronger, a different HIV, which is STD, not necessarily, but you don't know if they're carrying something and they passing it off to you. And not only do we sleep together, but we have unprotected. So now you at risk for all this stuff. And a lady said to me the other day, and I get this all the time, he got me pregnant and then left me. And that's the problem. He did not get you pregnant. You got you pregnant. You lied down on your back. He did not get you pregnant. You got you pregnant because you as a woman are the receiver. So you can't, so just because he want it don't mean he deserve it. Don't mean that he can get it. But if you say yes and then you receive him into you, that baby is 100% yours and it's 100% his. And that's the problem with today is we dating out of order. You doing marriage stuff in dating and then you getting marriage results. So you got a lease together. You got children together, you got a business together, you got dogs together, and cats together, and you're not married. That is the problem. So now, because you skipped over friendship and you went right from lust to situationship, and you never built anything real, you look up and you find yourself in a situationship with all of the repercussions and results or rewards of a mature relationship, which is a marriage. So now, this is why it's so much co-parenting, and it's so much chaos, and it's so much, oh, he got me pregnant and he got another. I cannot count how many times a day that I read, he got me pregnant and he got another woman pregnant at the same time. Listen, he can only do what he's allowed to do. He is a grown boy. He is lost. As a man, you got to man up, and you got to be a man, and you got to stop spreading yourself so thin, and you got to stop laying down with women and putting a baby in them if you're not man enough to marry that woman and raise your child as a husband in the house. You a grown boy, and you are the problem. You ruining society. And as a woman, guess what? You are also a part of the problem and helping ruin society. So this is our problem today, is women want men to be held accountable, and men want women to be held accountable, but nobody wants to look in the mirror and hold themselves accountable. It's your fault. Whoever you is. If you the woman, if you the man, it's your fault. So stop looking, who talking to the man? Oh, you need to talk to these women too. It's your fault. And he left me with our child. That's, for one, that's your child. Because if you lie down, you are accepting 100% responsibility. Because your spouse could die. Not your spouse. Your boyfriend, your baby daddy, your baby mama, your girlfriend. They could pass away. They could be gone. They could move to another country. A child is not 50% yours. Your child is 100% yours. So you have to be everything for that child, regardless of what the other parent is doing. Because if you lie down, you are assuming responsibility. Think about it like this. It's like when you co-sign for somebody. When you co-sign for somebody, you are assuming responsibility. If you co-sign and they don't pay the car note, that's going on your credit. You are liable. When you lie down with somebody, you co-signing on a baby. If they don't uphold their end, it's 100% yours. 100% yours. Yes, it would be great if you had some help, but you cannot expect help if you lie down and co-sign on a baby. So this is what I want you to understand in dating. Remove the marriage material. Remove all of the servitude, all of the responsibilities, all of the sexual intercourse, all of the sexual acts. You should be holding hands and a peck on the lips and talking your head off on the phone and in person. That is making love. That's what making love is. Communication and quality time. When you get in the bed, that's not making love. That is fulfilling lust. And if it is outside of marriage, that is sin against the body and against your creator, because you don't have a covenant. And now you are taking the universe and you taking it off its axis. You interrupting the rotation of the universe when you lie down with someone intimately before marriage, before having a lifetime commitment, a covenant until death does us part. Because what you are doing is you are doing the act that is intended to reproduce life, to produce life, but you don't have an agreement in a covenant that says we will protect and provide this procreation. This what we are creating, we are in covenant that the two of us will be there to foster and take care of and to raise, whatever term you want to use, this or these children until they are adults. So when you lie down without a covenant, you dating wrong. And you are setting yourself up for failure. Now, men don't really, I haven't heard a man come to me and say, out of the 600,000 men who follow me online between the networks, the social media networks, I haven't had one of those 600,000 men come to me and say, she got me pregnant, or she took a baby from me and I got to raise the baby alone. I've never heard that from a man. And so typically is when a man comes is, we had a child together and now she won't let me see the child. Or now she mad at me because I moved on. I have not beat on her, cursed her out. We just didn't work out. And I want to be there for my child, but she won't let me because she mad because I got a girlfriend, or she mad because I got a wife, or she mad because I can't give her the amount of money that she want me to give her. And so because of that, she won't let me see my child. That's what I hear from the men's side of it. From the women's side of it, I hear, he got me pregnant and now he won't do for his child. Now he won't come see his child, or he want to see his child, but he don't want to pay child support. Should I let him see his child and he don't want to contribute any money, and he got money to contribute? So should I let him see his child? So I'm hearing these things, and guess what? It's always a result of dating wrong, doing marriage things in the wrong season. So today, sit down and write out all your rules. And I just gave you 3 that I can remember. I said before, I speak from my heart. I'm just a vessel, so sometimes I could write stuff down. I couldn't even write this down today, so I just was talking to you. Number 1, I said be intentional. Number 2, what I said, build a friendship. And number 3, no sex, no intercourse. And this is the thing now, when I say that last part, that number 3, that mean stay off the microphone. That mean don't be eating no peach cobbler. So, because a lot of times women come to me and say, well, we ain't slept together, but I did that. And I'm like, do you know that that's actually worse than regular intercourse? Because that's your mouth. So anything he got, it's now in your mouth. And do you know that, and now if you got this far, be blessed in the comments, because this alone. But this is why I have to help women understand. Do you know that a man will actually let any woman do that? But he actually will not sleep with any woman? So when you were singing on the microphone, do you know that he will actually allow a prostitute, a street woman, $5 on the street corner, do that with no protection? But he will not lie down with her. So in a man's mind, to sing on the microphone is actually more degrading than to have intercourse on the first night. Now, a grown boy gonna come in the comments and tell him lying because the woman he got singing on his microphone watch these videos. He gonna say I'm lying, but I'm telling you on everything I love, I'm not lying. So for y'all women that's patting yourself on the back for singing on the microphone, but keeping your legs closed, that's worse. So just remove anything that have them 3 letters, sex with it, take it off. Take it off the table and date properly. Be intentional, build on friendship, and remove the sex. Now, I try not to say all them vulgar words and videos and all that, but we all grown. So I'm trying to hopefully everybody understand what I mean by singing on the microphone and eating peach cobbler. And but hey, I hope that this right here video for some of y'all told me 30 minutes okay because you listen riding to work. So hopefully, you use it in that time or when you going to sleep or whatever. But I thank you for listening. I could talk another 30 minutes on this, but I won't. But go back, sit down and listen and look at your dating life. Look at how you dating and see if you playing house. See if you playing mommy daddy. See if you playing marriage while you dating. And if you skipping over friendship and jumping right into situationship because you being led by lust instead of by love, which is friendship and real quality time, conversation, communication. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins. We'll talk soon.